Consider that Jack Youngblood played throughout the playoffs and the Super Bowl with a broken leg. You either have to say he's the gutsiest player of all time or the craziest. And I know he isn't the craziest, so he's the gutsiest.
Man, it does look like he could suit up and kick your ass.
85, Jack Youngblood right on him from left end. He's fired up.
Youngblood, who really lays him out.
How has Jack Youngblood played on what we know is a fractured lower ankle bone? I don't understand it.
From the 23, second down and 8.
Good rush.
Goes Montana, Jack Youngblood.
Youngblood chasing him, and Youngblood has got him again.
That's Ron Springs in motion. Here comes Tony Dorsett, and he's taken down from behind. Good play, Jack Youngblood.
Markinen gives to Foreman. Jack Youngblood.
Jack Youngblood is one of the greatest people I've ever known to have on your ball club when things are going bad, because he will pick you back up. He'll turn you around and won't let your players get down.
Second down and 8. Back to throw is Hart. He's got 5 in the pattern. He throws. Intercepted by Youngblood. 45-40, 35-30. Jack Youngblood, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown!
2 minutes remaining in the half. Foreman was stripped of the ball by Jack Youngblood.
Bouncing around. Youngblood's got it. He's heading for the end zone.
Roger with the little time. Fakes it. Jack Youngblood on a bad ankle brings him down.
10, and indeed, the 49ers looking for more. Montana sacked at the 30-yard line. Down he goes, Jack Youngblood.
Jack Youngblood.
From the 23, second down and 8. Good run. Down goes Montana. Jack Youngblood first, I believe.
That's Jack Youngblood's second sack of the night. 33 years old, still a great defensive end.
See the Rams defense at its best. Terry Bradshaw was harangued, harassed, and totally hampered by a smothering, stealing defense.
Merely 5 first downs and the miserly total of 89 net yards for an entire half of football. The Vikings' best and only drive of the half ended when number 85 Jack Youngblood sacked Tarkenton to give the Rams a small measure of satisfaction this half. The publicized duel between the Minnesota quarterback and the Rams' all-pro defensive end was a no-love-lost battle that was worth watching throughout the entire game.
Into his patented scramble, but defensive end Jack Youngblood came up fast to take Tarkenton out of bounds. Now it was the Rams' defense that had prevailed. These first 2 series of this football game set the tone. The Rams' rush forced Tarkenton to loft the football too high over Osborne's head and into Charlie Stooks' hands. But Los Angeles again got tough, and on third down, number 85, Jack Youngblood, forced Tarkenton away from his primary receiver into the arms of the Ram defense. The first break came after a Tarkenton pass had only 2 possible receivers, both Rams.
Isolated action of Yeri trying to get an angle on Youngblood and getting nothing of number 85. They are after Francis Tarkenton. 85 and Yeri. Yeri is a rock and strong at about 265 to 270. Yes, Jack Youngblood, you were held.
He almost pulled his helmet off.
He got him twice. It's magnified like 10 times, and if they made many of them, these 2 teams wouldn't be here, that's for sure.
Jack Youngblood.
Oh.
Think he's hungry? Tarkenton drops. Brett Dreyer from behind. Fumble. And the Rams have it. Jack Youngblood to the 10. Los Angeles football. Tarkenton hit from behind.
And dropped by number 85, Jack Youngblood.
Staubach in real trouble.
Was a pretty good blend of experience and youth. And there's Jack Youngblood and Roger Staubach having words, and it goes back at least to the time when Staubach tackled Youngblood on what appeared to be an interception. But Jack Youngblood is Jack Hotblood right now.
Youngblood now working against Rayfield Wright. Boy, you're right, Patrick. They battled for a long time. Watch Youngblood. Back to 250 pounds.
decked by Jack Youngblood, Morris Bradshaw.
Be a logo for tough man of the NFL. It's Jack Youngblood. First of all, listen to the name.
Jack Youngblood.
Jack Youngblood. Jack Youngblood.
Consider that Jack Youngblood played throughout the playoffs in the Super Bowl with a broken leg. You either have to say he's the gutsiest player of all time or the craziest. And I know he isn't the craziest, so he's the gutsiest.
Even today, you see him at the Hall of Fame. It does look like he could suit up and kick your ass. Jack Youngblood is the Marlboro Man. He will just whip your ass by looking at you.
He epitomized the tough football player, and the guy you see holding the helmet, you know, with the mud all over him, you know.
If you want to be in the trenches with somebody, you want to be in the trenches with Jack Youngblood. It was a Ray Nitschke, a Chuck Bednarik.
I always kind of thought of Jack and John Wayne as the same, that old swagger, you know, how you doing, Eric? You know, Jack Youngblood.
You just knew that John Wayne was going to get the bad guy.
There's Jack Youngblood. You see those pants where he got blood on them. Look a lot. Holy moly. Hey, that's great. No dirt, a lot of blood hanging down there.
I'd been bitten by a spider, and I just had some swelling in the arm. The third day comes along, and it's getting rather bothersome, a nuisance. Couldn't bend my fingers, couldn't put my watch on, things like that. There were indications that something might not be quite right. So I go in, the trainer looks at it, he almost faints. So at that, I'm saying to myself, something is bad wrong here. He jumps on the phone. They call the doctors. One thing leads to another. I'm in the hospital that evening in emergency surgery. And they open me up and pull out this foot-long hot dog.
In a playoff game at Texas Stadium, Youngblood's right leg was caught in a cowboy vice and snapped.
Hurt. It was swollen, and you could feel the knot. You could feel where the leg had been broken. The doctors are all looking at it, and they're feeling it, and they're going, no, 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 you can't do this. I said, tape the thing up, and we'll worry about it when the game's over. Win, lose, or draw, then that's the time to worry about it. You can't worry about it now. I can still walk on it and still run. Tape it up, give me 2 more aspirin, and let's go play.
Jack Youngblood on a bad ankle brings him down.
Youngblood returned, and with him came victory. The next week, number 85 was knocked down. But it was the Buccaneers who were knocked out of the NFC Championship. He played his 3rd game on a broken leg in the Super Bowl.
It was my responsibility to be an inspirational player, play by example.
Even in defeat, he played with the style that made him a star and the toughness that made him a hero.
I don't consider myself tough. I consider myself a nut sometimes for some of the things I did. If I could have done anything any different, it would be that I would still be able to play. I loved it. It was so thrilling that I didn't want to miss 1 minute of it.
Jack Youngblood started in the Pro Bowl to cap off the #1 gutsiest performance of all time.
Every year, 50 guys bail on the Pro Bowl. Oh, my left pinky finger's so sore. For him to go there and play with the crack in the fibula, wow.
Mind-boggling.
That's what it's all about. Under a lot of pain, coming out playing this game.
Till the next guy comes along to dislodge him, I'm happy with seeing him at #1.
Speed, quickness, and finesse. Knowing your game, knowing what to do.
As usual, Jack Youngblood made every All-Star team and won many well-deserved awards.
Youngblood chasing him, and Youngblood has got him again. Sievers. Williams dumped to the 23-yard line. Good defensive effort, Jack Youngblood. And Jack Youngblood playing spirited football.
Youngblood and Jack Youngblood, number 85.
Trying quickly move it into field goal position. They got messed up on this play. Kramer's dropped. He changed the yard line. He changed the play to run to the left. The other back didn't catch it, and that's why they had a mix-up in the backfield. Again, the Rams step. Jack Youngblood made the drop. Jackson is wide right, Jenkins left, and Bartkowski will send it up, but not until Youngblood brings him down. He was on a block punt. Big rush on him. Gets away somehow. Now they have him.
Dallas Cowboys now along with Tony Dorsett, who's been taped up. Some confusion is settled by Jack Youngblood of the Rams.
Jack Youngblood, too, zeroed in on opposing quarterbacks, anchoring a line that for the second year in a row led the NFC in sacks.
Rucker right. May waited too long. He was looking to Cleo Miller to dump off, and Jack Youngblood just ate him up.
Second and 10. Williams, and down he goes. Jack Youngblood. Watch the right guard pull, and Youngblood follows the pull and the tackle of the guard and gets good penetration. Jack Youngblood trying to get him, and he's got him. Well, they dogged him then. They went after him with 6 men.
Quick points. How's that for 2 quick points on the tackle by Mr. Youngblood?
Jack Youngblood, the best of the pass rushing Rams, drops him all the way back to the 12-yard line. And it'll be 4th down. That'll still have to punt. You like to play these Cowboys, I'll guarantee you.
Record -7 yards of total offense.
Fifth play action fake to Williams. Under a rush, and Jack Youngblood has him and brings him down.
He got it against Rashad today. Kramer wrapped him down. They're going to mark him at the 39-yard line when he went down. They had a big rush on him by Jack Youngblood, the left end.
Youngblood is taking his place. Richard Todd under pressure. Jack Youngblood came storming up.
Jack Youngblood is so quick. If you get set and then he moves outside of you, well, then you're in a lot of trouble because he is just that fast. Here's the call. Jack Youngblood practice yesterday. The Rams practiced out here. They just had on shorts and T-shirts, and he looks in the best shape that I've seen him in the last 5 years. He's always had this great move. Let's watch it again. He'll come from the left-hand side here, the right-hand side, excuse me, from the outside. He's going to come right around King, and here he comes, and Bruner doesn't have a chance.
not going to roll out or scramble outside of Youngblood. He's an outside rusher. No chance.
They get to him. He's down. He'll go down on the 47 of the Rams. They were coming in. That's the 4th sack for the Rams in the game. Jack Youngblood records it. One of the leading sack men in the National Football League this season.
Well, that's exactly what they had to do. They had to put some pressure on that quarterback, and they did it that time. Jack Youngblood, 85, getting good penetration, getting off the ball nicely, and licking Ron Yeri on the play.
3rd and 17.
They got a linebacker blitzing, Mel Owens, coming inside. Reggie Goff is trying to get penetration from the right side, and finally gets his arm on him, gets a piece of him, and then comes number 69, Meisner, at 85, Jack Youngblood finally makes the play. Second sack of the game, Hank. He's got...
He has been named All-Pro 7 times, Player of the Year twice, and his never say die style will surely elect him to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. As usual, Youngblood was the leader in sacks.
And putting a lot of pressure on Atlanta. And there he goes, Jack Youngblood, who has now come up with his 15th sack. Jack Youngblood. And Larry Brooks leading the sack at the 45-yard line.
Well, I tell you what Jack Youngblood did. Jack Youngblood lined up real wide. Nobody touched him. Just came right in on Manning, didn't have a chance. When you line up that wide, Vin, the offensive tackle can't reach out and grab you and use the hands. And the way the rules are now, it's very tough to rush the passer because the offensive linemen are allowed to use their hands, grab them. Youngblood lined up where he couldn't get his hands on him.
Jack's 6th sack of the year. He had 16 sacks last year.
Number 64 offense.
Number 79. Holding.
24 now.
I was just going to say, the referee, Fred Silva, looks like he's called so many holding penalties today's board.
Got calluses on his wrist.
Well, right there. With arms closed, Youngblood, he had his left hand around his back.
Jack Youngblood likes to play at the York. He had a great game the opening Sunday against the Giants. Got the game ball. And he's had a good day today, too. Jordan.
Bird. As he lets go of it.
The tight end, Brooke Williams, is on the right side. And Manning, under pressure, throws it away. Flag on the play. Both Jack Youngblood and Larry Brooks were in there.
Youngblood's coming in from the outside then, beating the tackle, block. See if we can see him.
There he is.
There he is. Coming around from behind.
And a holding penalty will be called against New Orleans.
You know, you got to give your tackle a little help. One man can't block Youngblood consistently.
Youngblood, number 85, that's Ron Yeri keeping him to the outside, and now he is picked up by Ricky Young. So both Young and Yeri try to box in Youngblood, and he fought them both off.
Yeah, Ricky Young has the chance to really chop him down, but he missed him. Youngblood's a good athlete, worked out, and forced Tarkenton to dump this ball off.
Actually, Ricky Young could have hurt him because that's the kind of play that you can hurt a guy's knee.
Gives the Foreman. Jack Youngblood.
The All-Pro was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC.
Over there, especially on early downs. Metcalf taking a handoff. Hart tripped and fell down after he made the handoff, but they were waiting for him, and Jack Youngblood.
Motion towards the line of scrimmage. Metcalf is swallowed up for a loss by Jack Youngblood, and Jim Youngblood also in there on the hit. But it was Jack Youngblood who came up to get him. Youngblood, last year's UPI Defensive Player in the National Football Conference, and last year in the playoffs against the Cardinals, he returned an intercepted pass for a 47-yard touchdown. The Cardinals know all about Jack.
The Vikings ran into things that went bump in the night. Things like defensive end Jack Youngblood, number 85.
Lead the play. Stabler on first down. And hit is Mark Van Egan for a loss. 85, Jack Youngblood right on him from left end. He's fired up. Look at him.
I'll tell you, when you talk about Jack Youngblood, you talk about a guy that comes to play, seems to play best in big games.
it around. Ted Brown, the rookie, filled at the 45 of the Vikings. Second down 8. Jack Youngblood. We don't run around his end too many times.
And it's Laidlaw who's hit by Youngblood before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Can't run against him, can you?
Jack Youngblood.
Outside to Harper. Chased and caught by Youngblood.
But one thing about Jack Youngblood, he just keeps working.
Beardorf against Youngblood, one of the best matchups in pro football.
Harris in motion. Hart shoveling out to Metcalf, but he's caught from behind by Jack Youngblood, and Jack Youngblood makes another big save for the Rams.
Many people feel this is the best defensive end in football. Watching the tackle pulls, he goes behind Beardorf and pulls down Metcalf. I tell you, he's a joy to watch. And Dan Dierdorf, many feel, is the best offensive tackle in professional football.
Garrison and Hill the setbacks. Garrison stopped for a yard loss at the line of scrimmage by Jack Youngblood, number 85.
Struggles and fights, and the Rams swarm on it, led by Jack Youngblood. Point. Jaworski fires it in the flat to Hogan. And the Rams close it down at the 25-yard line, resulting in actually a loss of a half-yard. Charlie Smith wide to the right has two big receptions. They go to the run on first down. From the 37-yard line, the Eagles bang the ball out close to the 40-yard line. Now they're going to spot him down at the 38. Youngblood made the stop for the Los Angeles Rams, a consensus all-pro defensive end, now in his 7th year from Florida.
Number 85, Jack Youngblood was outstanding, and Los Angeles gave up only 13.
That's Ron Springs in motion. Here comes Tony Dorsett, and he's taken down from behind. Good play, Jack Youngblood in his 14th year, and he's still the spirit of that defensive line.
For each other. And off to Wilson. To the 30. Shy of the first down as Youngblood tripped him up.
There was an attempted screen by the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jack Youngblood smelled this thing long before it developed. He was out there, matter of fact, beyond the offensive line. How he got there so quickly, I don't know.
Split left. I don't think off his ring, and he will not get the first down.
Poor Joe. It's got to be frustrating for both Walsh and Joe Montana. They cannot run for a yard.
That's why Walsh took the field goal.
Look at Bill here. He's saying, my goodness, what have I got to do to get a yard?
Rush, quick, all-encompassing, and impossible to escape. Jack Youngblood kept the pressure on.
Here's the story of a Hollywood hero in the truest sense of the word.
Los Angeles in the 1970s was the wrong city and the wrong decade for a backward young man from a backwater town in Florida.
When I came to Los Angeles, it was a horrifying experience. I was supposed to stay for like 3 days. I jumped on the plane after the second day, left, could not stand this place, was totally petrified. I'd never seen that many people in my entire life.
Offensive tackles were no match for the hungry Youngblood. It was the city of Los Angeles that nearly swallowed him up.
The furthest west I had been was Jackson, Mississippi. I don't think I'd been across the river. It was culture shock. It was country come to town, is what it was.
You know, he dressed in cowboy boots, blue jeans. He had a little chew of tobacco in his mouth, and he was Jack Youngblood.
Cast against the grain, his rugged play and rural charm set him apart in Tinseltown.
Man, my first impressions of Jack Youngblood were, why is this guy playing football? He was, this big, handsome guy that all the women loved. The one thing about training camp, it was never dull, because there are always a lot of attractive women out there looking for Jack Youngblood.
The defensive ends.
Jack Youngblood, University of Florida.
Ho, ho, it's the Jolly Green Giant out.
Jack has a game ball that he wrestled away from a Georgia back on the 1-yard line. Lucky the Georgia player didn't hold on, or he'd be in Jack's trophy cabinet, too.
When you play on the same team,
and you both named Youngblood,
life can be confusing.
Do you remember the time I played 2 games with a broken leg?
No, Jimmy, that was me.
Was? There's no confusing our favorite beer, light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light tastes great.
But Jack, you drink it because it's less filling.
No, Jim, that's you.
It is?
Paging, Mr. Youngblood.
Well, I got to go.
Not you, Jack. The other one.
Hey, that's me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer.
And less.
If you're a really busy guy like me, sometimes you just don't have time to take care of your auto insurance. Well, FGS has the cure. Besides a low down payment and low monthly payments, if you have a MasterCard or Visa, FGS can now insure you over the phone in just a few minutes. Because of FGS's longer hours, you can spend more time doing the things you like to do. Give them a call.
Call now for an immediate quote. 1-800-222-9222.
Hey, anybody know how to clean this?
Defensive end Jack Youngblood, number 85, in only his 3rd year made the Pro Bowl.
Staubach was forced out of the pocket and then dropped by number 85, Jack Youngblood. Dallas came away with only a field goal. Defense led by number 85, Jack Youngblood. The Rams rush forced Tarkenton to loft the football too high over Osborne's head and into Charlie Stooks' hand. Angeles 48 with under 2 minutes remaining in the half. Foreman was stripped of the ball by Jack Youngblood. And the Rams had one last chance to rally their uncertain offense and get on the board.
And then the Cardinals got to run one play before number 85, Jack Youngblood, ruined quarterback Jim Hart's day. Youngblood's 47-yard touchdown was the first of his career as a defensive end, and he finished it with an old crowd-pleasing custom. On their second play from scrimmage in the game, Jack Youngblood forced number 35, Jim Otis, to fumble, and the Rams' Fred Dreyer took possession. With the score already 14-0, St. Louis had run only 2 plays, both of which ended in calamity. And inspired by Jack Youngblood, the defense clamped shut on Hart and the Cardinals. Strangely enough, St. Louis gained 363 yards on the day to the Rams' 440, a difference of only 77 yards. But the big difference was
he runs. You're not going to tackle him with an arm tackle.
Jim Hawkins' kick is deflected, and it is no good.
Merely 5 first downs and the miserly total of 89 net yards for an entire half of football. The Vikings' best and only drive of the half ended when number 85, Jack Youngblood, sacked Tarkenton to give the Rams a small measure of satisfaction this half. The publicized duel between the Minnesota quarterback and the Rams' all-pro defensive end was a no-love-lost battle that was worth watching throughout the entire game.
He's hit by Dreyer. He fumbles. The ball's free. Bouncing around. Youngblood's got it. He's heading for the end zone. To the 10, to the 8, and he's out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
But another look through the lens of a super slow camera shows how 3 Cowboys failed to recover the ball before Captain Jack saved the day for Los Angeles.
Cowboys now along with Tony Dorsett, who's been taped up. Some confusion is settled by Jack Youngblood of the Rams. No great protection for Staubach for a while, and he is down in the grasp of one Brett Dreyer and Jack Youngblood.
Great coverage by the secondary. Roger Staubach did not have anybody open. All right, you're on the line of scrimmage. That's Youngblood now working against Rayfield Wright. Boy, you're right, Patrick. They battled for a long time. Watch Youngblood. Back to 250 pounds. And the strong side defensive end has to play football, you know it? A weak side guy can be flamboyant. The strong side defensive ends have to really earn their money in this league.
Los Angeles has called a timeout. And it's Laidlaw who's hit by Youngblood before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Have you ever seen a better defensive game overall in the playoffs?
We couldn't move the football, and they couldn't either. We just couldn't move against them.
Offensively, we're a little erratic. The Rams have a great defense.
Both teams are feeling each other out. Neither team has been able to run or pass.
Youngblood very gingerly being assisted off the field. The backup man.
Can you go again? I'm ready to roll now.
Preston Pearson, the blocking back. Roger with a little time. Chases. Jack Youngblood on a bad ankle brings him down.
Inspired by the presence of Captain Jack Youngblood, playing in pain with his broken leg.
Number 85, Jack Youngblood.
I just saw that and went, I'm not surprised.
Let's start naming football players who have played in Super Bowls, played in championship games with broken legs.
Fumbled and almost picked off by Youngblood.
How has Jack Youngblood played on what we know is a fractured lower ankle bone? I don't understand that.
The game came down to the final seconds when Jack Youngblood saved the upset with a blocked field goal on the final snap. Youngblood's clutch play, along with his trio of sacks, ended the Cardinal win streak and prompted John Robinson to call the 14-year veteran defensive end the best football player he's ever been around.
John and Rogers and a safety. How's that for 2 quick points? How's that for 2 quick points on the tackle by Mr. Youngblood?
And they did it with defense. Though not a dominant force, the defense made its presence felt. They were 11 men, led by one great player.
That's been the motto and the focus of our defense all year long. 11 people going to the football all the time, no matter where it is on the field.
The man who makes this unit tick is the leader of the cavalry, the John Wayne of football, Jack Youngblood.
You know, it seems as if he hurts all week, but he shows up on Sunday and plays the best game that he's played that year. And that's the inspiration to the younger guys.
It drives me. I have not lost the desire to play and to play well.
Youngblood played well and often. His 201 consecutive games make him the most durable defensive player in Ram history. Despite extra attention, he has been named All-Pro 7 times, Player of the Year twice, and his never-say-die style will surely elect him to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. As usual, Youngblood was the leader in sacks.
Jack Youngblood is one of the greatest people I've ever known to have on your ball club when things are going bad, because he will pick you back up. He'll turn you around and won't let your players get down.
They were 11 men, led by one great player.
That's been the motto and the focus of our defense all year long. 11 people going to football all the time, no matter where it is on the field.
Jack Youngblood, an all-pro defensive end and an all-day job for any offensive tackle. Points, Jack Youngblood, and boy, the Dallas Cowboys would have to win by 26. And Frank, boy, I'll tell you, that one is a great football player, and he is shaking up.
You got to. That's Jack Youngblood. Looks like they're going over his ankle, knee. That could be trouble.
Hey, he played the playoff ball last year with a broken fibula.
That's the point. Not with Youngblood. That man is unbelievable.
Jack Youngblood over on the sideline, the little oxygen.
Talk to him before a game, he looks right through you. He gives you that handshake with the taped hands, but he's not really thinking about you at all. I like him like that, don't you, before a game?
Jack talks all football game.
Come on, Frank, hit it, baby. Good job, Bobby. Good job, good job, good job, Don. Good job. Let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done. All right, Rock. You better be easy on the old man now.
I mean, the guy never shuts up.
Hey, baby, here we go, baby.
Jack Youngblood could rush the quarterback and take on an offensive tackle and yell the quarterback's name at the same time.
Here we go now.
Jim Hart was our quarterback, and Jack Youngblood's got that high-pitched southern voice. Woo! He and I would be out here, and I'd be blocking, and Jack would be going, Jimmy, 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 here I come, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy. And I'm thinking to myself, how can this guy's got to be in great shape to rush the passer and talk at the same time. Jimmy, 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 here I come, Jimmy.
Back to throw is Hart. He's got 5 men in the pattern. He throws. Intercepted by Youngblood. 45, 40, 35, 30, 15, 10, 5.
He dealt me fits. I didn't match up well against Jack.
He led his team to 7 straight division titles, but seldom any further. And Blood knew he wasn't getting any younger.
You started to wonder, was it in the cards for us? Especially after the years where we had gotten so close. What
had we not done to step up and be a championship-type football team.
In the 1979 divisional playoffs, Youngblood was caught between two Cowboys and his leg was snapped. So too, it seemed, were LA's championship hopes.
I said, it's broken. I said, you need to tape this thing up. This is Dallas. He gets the pictures back about that time. He says, see here, it's broke right there. I go, well, I understand that. I said, tape it up. I can still go play.
Youngblood's astonishing return inspired an upset of the Cowboys. 1 week later against Tampa Bay, he again put his career on the line. He played every snap and led the Rams to a shutout victory over the Buccaneers. After 6 years of frustration, the Rams and their hobbled hero captured their first NFC title and a glimpse of the glittering prize.
I thought it was my responsibility as the captain of the team and from the standpoint of having a desire to go win.
Even in defeat, Youngblood played with the same grit that defined his career. Some called him brave, others reckless. But his teammates were proud to call him captain.
Just to have a guy like that suiting up, you know he's been wounded. You know, everybody has to step back and say, wow, that's what the game's all about.
And the guy you see holding the helmet, you know, with the mud all over him, you know, that's Jack Youngblood. Do I think Jack should be in the Hall of Fame? Most definitely.
There's a great battle going on between Youngblood, number 85, and Keith Fahnhorst, number 71, the offensive tackle for the 49ers. This is the 20th time they've played against each other in their careers.
And Fahnhorst says he never remembers ever dominating Jack Youngblood.
No, he says against other people in the league, he can remember games he's dominated, but not Youngblood, not at all, not one time. Look at Fahnhorst, number 71, Youngblood, number 85, going at it right here. Fahnhorst says that my jaws get tight when I know we're playing the Rams because I know I've got the tough job. He says, my wife doesn't even have to look at the schedule. She knows when I have to play against Youngblood.
Bill Ring comes in.
Youngblood, number 85. Winner of numerous awards and loved by the fans, the All-Pro was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC.